Hey dudes and chicks, and neither of those rules don't apply to you. Welcome to Make It For Last Time. My name is Katie. Today, I'm going to be popping this palette's cherry. This is the Nocturnal palette by Glaminatrix. The color story looks like this. I am being a little bit careful because when I got it, it comes from Australia. For those of you who don't know, Glaminatrix is an Australian brand. These two shadows were pretty fucking smashed inside. So the way she packages them separately from the palette, which I thought to myself that was pretty smart because they probably were obviously coming like completely destroyed. So, and then she puts them in these little plastic sleeves. They're not like the sleeves though. They're like the clicky ones that click down so that they actually, anyways, they're square and they actually click down and there's a square that goes up in there. And so what had happened was they were smashed in there, but all the product was still like held fast in there. And so I watched Mary Moods sent me, if you guys haven't seen Mary Moods, you're gonna fucking love her. Go check her out. Queen Mary Moods. She sent me a link to Marte's makeup tutorial on how to depot mattes and depot shimmers and how to repan mattes and shimmers. And so I watched the video, got some advice from Annette, and I used a quarter which fit in there perfectly and a square of toilet paper, and I put it in there and I smashed the shadow down with my thumb. I just used my thumb and it came out perfect. Like they look really good. So I'm still going to be a little bit careful with it, but I got them packed in there pretty well. And so honestly, I talk a lot more about it in the video, so I'm not going to go on and on. But if you guys are curious to see how I got this look, or hearing my final thoughts on the palette, or if you guys just like to watch, then hang out. I'm excited as fuck, actually. Okay, so I have I'm a little bit disorganized here. I'm about to actually rip my whole room apart so that it can be like carpeted and painted. And so I want to film a few videos like fucking immediately, and then I'll have some content to like get me through. I am really excited about this fucking palette, and I literally I can see clearly, easily right now at least like 6 different combinations. It's just so cohesive. It's just a really cohesive color story, and I don't know where to start because they all seem really cool. So I'm wearing a really strange shirt. My bestie gave it to me. It looks like this, and it's got like little, so I'm gonna kind of stick with that theme, which I normally wouldn't do, but I just, like I said, every single one, even the boring colors in this are interesting to me. So I'm going into those. I'm going to go into the browns. So I'm going to start with Gloom. And I'm going to talk about how I got this palette with 2 of the shimmer shadows pretty damaged. And Queen Mary Moods, I like messaged her on, I DM'd her on Instagram, and I was like, dude, my shimmers are smashed. And I kind of knew that they would be because I don't really keep up as much as I wish that I did, but I did know that Glaminatrix posted, I don't know when, but they are going to discontinue this palette because it's been giving them so much shit. Now, I'm assuming everybody's shimmers are showing up broken. Every single person that I've talked to or like chatted with more, like DM'd or messaged, got their palette with their shimmers broken. Because it comes from Australia, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if it took me 2 or 3 months to get this. I ordered this months ago. You guys know how shipping with Glaminatrix is. It may not be like that with everybody, but it always takes me a really long time to get my Glaminatrix shit. By the time I get it, it's like they're on to the next release. So honestly, I think Glaminatrix has actually launched 2 releases since I ordered this palette. So it was months ago. Everyone that I have messaged and talked to, their palette came with broken shadows. And so Queen Mary Moods sent me in the DMs a link to Marte's makeup, 2 videos, how she depots her mattes and how she depots her shimmers so that, and she actually breaks them out. She'll break them out of the pans that they're in. I mean, you guys know what depotting is. Like, it's like a fucking nightmare to me. I would never do it. Like, it freaks me the fuck out. But I watched the video and it actually like taught me how to like press the shadow back in. And, you know, I had messaged Annette, and Annette kind of gave me the scoop, and then Mary Mood sent me the video of Marte's makeup, and by watching Marte's makeup, I learned how to repot these, and I actually made a comment. I'm just spitting everywhere in my shadows. I'm like salivating profusely. I must be like really chomping at the bit to get this look on. I'm going to go into Nightfall, and I'm going to use that to blend this out. I wasn't. This is not what I was going to do, but now I am. I just want to see. I just want to see what happens here. I mean, if you mix blue with brown, what's going to happen? It's going to turn brown. So I'm pretty sure that like there's no risk of it muddying up because it's already fucking brown. I am primed with the P. Louise primer in Rumor 02 in case anybody was wondering. So I made a comment in Marte's comments section about thank you so much, you might have saved my ass or some fucking thing. I don't know what I said exactly, but she was like, oh my god, that's amazing, I really appreciate you commenting, or some shit like that, some such shit. And then she said, yeah, I never worry about getting broken shadows now that I learned these methods. And it really changed my perspective on getting broken shadows because they're reparable. It's not like it's a fucking over if you get a broken shadow. And quite frankly, when I first started, if I would get broken shadows, I would message the company and ask them to like replace them. Now I'm a little more sympathetic to indie brands for one, but also for two, it takes so fucking long to get anything in the mail these days that I just literally cannot. I cannot do it. I can't fucking wait for another month or two even to get things in the mail. Now, the mail has gotten a little bit better, and like sometimes it's better than others, but honestly, I'm usually the last person because it's been a rare launch of late that I've ordered right at launch. Like, I don't really order shit right on the launch anymore. Like, I usually like think about it, and I just make a really, I make really thought about purchases. I don't just like purchase the way that I used to. I just don't fire off purchases anymore. I don't know why. I just don't, because my collection is like so complete, and so I just, when I want to try new brands or like feature their palettes, that's usually my motivation. My motivation today is like, I mean, with Blend Bunny, I really wanted to try their stuff, but like with a lot of things, it's really about brands that I want to like represent or like, you know, work with, you know, on my channel. I don't want to work with anybody that I don't want to work with. It's funny because, you know, that Saints, Angels, and Sinners thing, the shit hit the fan with the Saints, Angels, and Sinners release for Smink Beroende. I'm not exactly, I know Nikki Raven probably pronounced it the closest to what it actually is pronounced. I'm pretty sure her name is Natalie. Actually, now that I think about it, her name is Natalie. I'm sure of it. Anyways, so I messaged her and I was like, dude, I honestly was like so broke. I couldn't afford it. I like didn't have the money to get it. And I messaged her and I was like, dude, I am really bummed out that I just could not come up with the money to get your palette, and now it's sold out and I never got it. And I said, I just wanted you to know that it's not because I don't support you. I just didn't have it. And now I have a little bit of extra money and it's too fucking late. And she said, you know what? I actually told her to send you one in PR. And she was like, and also things went really bad with that. I have an extra palette. If you want it, I can send it to you. But, and then she didn't really touch on, she like just told me a little bit about the story, but then I went and read her story, her highlights and her Instagram stories, and it kind of broke it down. And so then I was like, oh, and so like at that point, like it wasn't Saints, Angels, and Sinners that I wanted to work with. It was like Smink Beroende, right? Or Beroende. And so, anyway, so basically like I just really choose like the stuff that I choose to use on my channel are by brands that I want to work with, or brands that I want to, like, I want you guys to know that, like, I, like, give a fuck about that brand. That's like a solid ass brand by my standards. And so I don't really want to use any palettes by any brands that I don't like want to work with, essentially. Where am I going with this? I'm not really in love with what's going on here, honestly. And it's no fault of the palette. I don't really like the combination of colors that I chose. They did what they're supposed to do, which is like muddy up. Anyways, it's all gonna come together. It's not gonna look bad at all. It's gonna look really good. I just, yeah, did that. Now, I don't have the brush that I love to use the most, so I'm gonna use this Alter Ego #1, and I'm gonna go into the color Fog, and I'm gonna use that in my inner corner. It's gonna look so pretty. Oh, so I think what I was saying is by the time I get stuff, it's like, if I was to wait for things to get replaced, like Glaminatrix has already like launched 2 different launches, and also I don't want to fuck them over like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, hey, dude, I got 2 broken shadows, and them have to be like, okay, we'll send them to you because they're a solid brand, right? They're not going to tell me to go fuck myself on it. They're going to replace them, and then they're going to be fucked, you know? And when it's clear that, like, they're already getting fucked on this launch, otherwise they wouldn't be discontinuing it, because this palette is fucking like hot. Everybody ordered this palette. This color story is like off the hook. So yeah, anyways, I'm really grateful that I got it, and I'm really grateful to Marte's Makeup and Queen Mary Moods. Those of you who know who Mary Moods is, then you know that that is like the most appropriate label for her. She is such a queen, God. Anyways, like, I'm just grateful that she sent me those videos by Marte so that I could, like, fix my own shit instead of, you know, making problems. Because honestly, I'm not just going to have broken shadows. Like, they were the good ones, dude. This Luna and Night Vision were both, like, smashed. I mean, honestly, if it would have been, like, Milky Way... I'm not saying Milky Way and Constellation aren't beautiful, but if it would have been Milky Way and Constellation, that would have been a little less, you know, like the green and the purple. No way, dude. I'd have died. I'd just go ahead and fucking die right now, please. That color Fog is like really good. So honestly, I was going to go the exact opposite direction with this, and I was going to do the blue in the inner corner. Now I'm just going to do the brown on my nose. Just kidding, no brown noses on this fucking channel. I was gonna do the brown, the yellow to blend out the brown, and then the blue to go on the inner corner. But then I thought, God, that it felt really reminiscent of a look that I did with Odin's Eye maybe a long time ago, and so I kind of wanted to go the other way with it. Because, you know, God forbid I might ever pick the same color story twice. Just kidding, I do. I pick the same color story. I like to go from teal to purple a lot. Okay, I'm liking this. This formula is actually a little bit, I don't know, like there's something, it's a little, I feel like it's not blending as well as I would like it to. So, and honestly, it might be because of the colors that I used together. It feels like this is one of those more waxy formulas rather than like powdery. Just give me a minute. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I should shut up. Maybe I should shut up when I'm on a YouTube channel. Maybe I should just shut up. I expect a little bit of a certain level of buy-in. Like if you're here, you probably wanted to listen to me. Also, I'm just gonna say this particular color, as you guys know, these kind of bluer shadows are, okay, I'm in love with that, actually. Okay, it just came together. Just came together right then. This is probably the prettiest mustard I have ever used. Now, am I talking shit out my ass because it's been so long since I've actually used a mustard? I don't know, but that looks really good. I'm excited about it. Okay, we're all excited. We're so excited. Yay. Oh, because I'm going to go like this. I'm going to take this little baby P. Louise Worldy number 143 with the kitty hairs on it, with the shit-in hairs, and I'm going to go into shadow, the black, and I'm just going to, you know, deepen. But I don't really need to. I just wanted to. This color is really dark. And I think I just wanted to do that because I want to go along the lower lash line with it. Okay, because what I wanted to do, one of the looks that I wanted to do is like the black with that mustard, just straight blending out the black. And so I'm going to use that color Fog, and I'm going to blend out the black with that color down here. Sorry, I had to back off my desk or I was going to bump my elbow. You know, I guess I feel like a little bit like a bird right now. Like, I feel like these colors, I know it's a blue, but I feel like it looks like really natural. Like a nature color scheme, like of some kind of bird, like a blue jay or something. I don't know exactly, but it just looks like a little bit natural to me. It looks like some kind of animal. That looks really fucking pretty. This color Fog is like, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, and this blue, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little... it just is a little tiny bit... I wouldn't say patchy, but it just takes a little bit, the most delicate, tender of a touch to get that blended out. And also I blend it with the absolute hardest colors. So there. I'm gonna go back into Gloom, the brown, the poo color, the brownie poo. Man, that looks really good. Holy fuck. Wow, that's bomb. I'm just really packing that on there because I feel like it looks like there's, on the high part, it looks like it's a little bit. I'm in love with that. Somebody tell me, like, is it like a finch? What kind of bird looks like what I'm wearing right now? You know, it's funny because that color Constellation has a green shift. And as much as I was not even gonna fucking touch that color, it seems like it's the one that matches the best. And I think I'm gonna use it and I think it's gonna fucking surprise me. So that's what I'm doing. So I literally did exactly nothing that I intended on doing today. It's fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna go in with my rougher number 21. And I just went over, I'm gonna go in with my Zoeva 232. It's a little bit of a bigger flat shadow brush, and I'm gonna go into Constellation, the golden color. And I have a feeling that this is gonna be like shocking. Okay, that is actually honestly a lot more orange than I expected it to be. I really expected it to be a dirty, grungy, greeny gold. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that. I mean, I see the green a little tiny bit, like right here where I'm tapping. But all the other places is like very copper colored. I'm gonna go in with my, on that color Gloom. I think I'm gonna use the Moda Pro BMX 402 smudger brush, and I'm gonna go into that color Constellation, and I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line as well, because I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna use probably a Terra Moon shadow or a Divina shadow for my inner corner highlight. I'm gonna use the color Gumballs. Like, I'm not even gonna piss with this. I'm gonna use the color Gumballs as my inner corner highlight with my rougher number 3. Yeah. Word. There's like such a greeny, I know, you guys can't even see it on the screen. Can you see the green right there? It's like green. I'm gonna put my finger in it. I think I can see the shift. It's like, I just can't, cause it's like so, I have to turn my head so far to get it, but you can see it on my finger. It's like right there. You can see it. It turns green right there. So I'm sure that you can see it on my eyes. I just can't see it because I have to turn my head so far that it's like, I have to have my head on a fucking swivel to get it. I am going to go, wait. Man, that color Gumballs is fucking crazy. I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face and I'll be back when I'm done. God, I look so grown up, don't I? Like, I feel like I look like a grown up. So, this is the manifesto, the pièce de résistance. I'm wearing so much brown. I'm like, what? I'm like going to Brown Town, dude. I took a little trip to Brown Town. Sorry, guys. I'm wearing my Rouge and Rogue eye wigs in Slayer. I'm wearing my NYX Liquid Suede Matte Lip Liner in the color Downtown Beauty. And then I put my Lime Crime Lip Glaze in Fern over the top of this. And I fucking love it. I used my NYX Slide On Glide On All Day Hard On in Golden Olive on my waterline. And I used the Prophecy. I actually used Laser Glazer a little tiny bit, and then I was like, wait, I'm gonna use the Prophecy, it's gonna match better. So you can actually see where it's a little bit more green, like right here, I think, but I think I pulled it out nicely because the Prophecy actually shifts to green as well. So I honestly think that that's the reason why they discontinued Laser Glazer. Every time I say that, I think of that part on Guardians of the Galaxy when he's like, Taserface, and he's like, your name's Taserface? Ah! Anyways, Laser Glazer, I think that's the reason why they discontinued it, is because it's actually really similar to the Prophecy, only I think it's more green. Anywhoosies, I also used my Immortality liquid liner by Unearthly Cosmetics in the color Treasure because I wanted to kind of pull that grungy green in. And so this is actually a similar color to this, where it's like copper and like orangey shade, and then it shifts to like a golden dirty grungy greeny color, and so does this color Treasure. So I really wanted a little bit more of that dingy green, so I threw this on and it looks fabulous. If you guys are interested in buying these, you can use my code LOSSEDKATIE. It'll save you 10%. And I'm only saying that because I literally feel like you guys should all run out and buy these. They are so fucking easy to use and so much fun. Dude, I stink at fucking liner, and look at how good that looks. So good. Anyways, I love the look. I'm not gonna lie, I think that actually this would perform a little bit better with the ABH primer. I did have it blended out nicely, it applied nicely. It was just like really sticky on the P. Louise primer, and so it took me quite a bit of blending, but also I used the most fucked up color combination, and so you guys know how I use the most fucked up color combinations, and it's actually been a long time since I've done that, so it was actually a lot of fun for me. I love this palette. I love the colors. I honestly use the exact opposite of the colors that I was going to use. You guys know that I am like really way more drawn to this, like basically this whole other side, but I really wanted to use this color Fog because it's fucking pretty. You guys know what's coming next is like this side of it. Was it just me, or was did anybody like think like, oh, that looks a lot like the Shroud and Butte Bean? It does look a little bit like it. It has similarities, but honestly still very different, and quite frankly, there's a lot of options in this. I feel like the browns, this like section right here, really gives this a little something different. And so obviously the shimmers are nothing alike, but when I look at a palette and I see a color story, I see the shimmers, but the shimmers are just like a bonus, because when I look at a palette and think of workability, I look at the mattes. Like, am I going to be able to create a look with those mattes? And so the shimmers are like, oftentimes you buy a palette for the shimmers alone. Like, the shimmers are like the selling point. However, when I look at a palette, I like the color story of the mattes is what I'm really like looking at to see if I'm going to be able to create a cohesive look. And so I don't know if anybody else was like wondering about it, but this is the two color stories compared to each other. And there is some similarities, but the shimmers in the Shroud Cosmetics are completely different than the shimmers in this. That brown section gives this like really something a little bit different and a little more grungy and a little more, some more options. I think it actually makes the palette look a little bit darker, and it also has that fucking black. and that's a good ass black. So I don't know if you guys watched Annette's video on this. I'm pretty sure it was Annette's video, but you really got a good like glimpse of how this black performs. So if you guys haven't watched Annette's video, which all of you probably have, but if you haven't, go check that one out. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this look, or if you just like my sparkling personality and my boyish charm, and hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she's so fucking pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you were like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really feel, then go check out my Patreon because I don't hold anything back on my Patreon. It's a little more private and a little more personal, and so I just actually get to say more of really what's on my mind. Actually, my last live was pretty fucking spicy. I honestly thought about taking it down because of some of the things that I said. The evidence is up. It's in. I don't like to leave fucking breadcrumb trails. So anyways, I go live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on my Patreon. If you want to catch me in the act of saying some shit that I don't want anybody to fucking hear again ever, then go check it out. The link is in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later. Slayer.